After a wedding and a honeymoon, this has been a video I've wanted to shoot for a long time. I recently sold my 2008 Shelby GT500 and nabbed a 2017 GT350. I have a few critiques of real life versus GT7. First off, the power band that is shown in GT7 is dead wrong in these cars. The power curve is pretty flat from 7,200 RPM all the way to 8,250. The graph here from Motor Trend is an interesting tell. Second, the LSD is modeled incorrectly. All GT350s, regardless of R or not, have a Torsen limited slip differential, which if you know anything about GT7, this setting should be 50, 80, and 0. Shout out in the next video to anyone that can explain what I just said, as well as show some examples. A little hint, multiple cars already have this setting that aren't Mustangs. Third, all GT350Rs have MagneRide, which is not modeled at all in GT7. There is no altering stiffness of individual dampers, which should be present. My last critique of GT7 and how they treat the GT350 is it seems as if the car has no grip at all and the suspension is super soft. The game feels way off from driving this vehicle. It feels like the way that they modeled that vehicle is based off of the last generation of Mustang and just cobbled it together in order to come up with something. The car is very neutral at the limit. I'm currently running Michelin PS4S tires, not even Cup 2s, and has grip for days. I think you see me at one point barely break the tires loose on a 1 to 2 shift. So my personal vehicle here is not an R, as seen in the game, but the only differences are the carbon fiber rims, aluminum bumper beam, slightly stiffer springs, and a wing. This car has a Gen 2 Voodoo engine, which is kind of the best of both worlds. All the GT350R valve train goodies are where they matter in this engine, as well as it has improved pistons, connecting rod bolts, exhaust valves, and the newer Predator GT500 block and heads. The exhaust resonators are also deleted, and a colder intake and throttle body are installed. All ECU tuning is also done by me. This car also has the Ford Performance Swing, as they call it, with the gurney flap installed. It does provide functional downforce, not as much as a GT350R wing. It's a middle ground between that and no wing at all. Before I share any of the following footage of my car in motion, it's dirty as hell, so don't judge me, I drive it a lot. You won't see any heel and toe downshift. You really need to be deep in the brakes here, and with 15.5-inch rotors in the front and 6-piston Brembos, it's far more than you'll ever need on the street to push the vehicle to the limit to where the brakes are actually usable. for some time. I don't see myself getting back into the game that competitively as I was before. However, if anybody would like to see any tunes or anything in general for me to help with, or any cars, just feel free to let me know in the comments. Thanks.